movie review. We need to do
Oh,
like the comic book opening, you know.
yeah. I I didn't know what to expect there.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to do either. But yeah, so we saw Deadpool and Wolverine. What was well, before we get to the spoilers, we'll just say, did you like it or didn't you, Mr. Sippy McGuffin?
I did like it.
Yeah. I will say I liked it too. I had not seen a single Deadpool all the way through prior to this, but this
Really?
one, yeah, I just
Hmm.
didn't have any interest. But yeah, for the most part, I enjoyed it. Some of the jokes just didn't land, but they did I'm gonna go with the, short attention span humor type stuff. So it was just like, about a joke every 10 seconds. So like even if like one of the jokes don't hit, the next one might not hit either, but by the third one, you probably at least get a chuckle.
Yeah. When they cram 200 jokes into a 2-hour movie, it's like, yeah, not all of them are gonna
Yeah,
hit.
exactly.
But um the only thing that I was really kind of like waiting for it to be over was the opening, the bye
Yes.
bye bye song, dancing and
Like,
killing people. That took
yeah,
way too long.
took way too long. And then when it jumped back to the other shit, like that's a trope that needs to die in movies, I think. Because it was like that just draw like the first until he met with the you know Owen Wilson's group.
The
uh
TVA.
yeah, till he met with them, and then they brought us back to, oh, and this is why we're here now, that shit. um it was pretty, like, I thought it was kind of lame up until then.
Yeah. I'll say I really like that they used the TVA to bring him into the MCU.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's something that they've been doing with Loki and stuff like that. Like, it kind of makes sense if that's how they're gonna do it. Kind
But
of uncharacteristic of Marvel.
okay, but we'll get into spoiler territory now, because there was one part that didn't make any sense to me early
Okay.
on. Doesn't matter because it's Deadpool, but he was like talking about how he's got the time travel thing, and he went first to talk to Happy using that and to get a job as an Avenger. And it's like, that's not how time travel works. You don't go hop between realities. How could he hop? Because it even says in the 616.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there's no way he can hop between realities with a time machine, you know?
Um, yeah, but I think I don't know. I don't know how it works. I think the TVA, they in like Loki, they do jump between timelines.
Well, so okay, I'm gonna get like kind of like overly nerdy with this shit. So a time machine can just hop in the one time thing. But if you're doing like a multiversal thing, so like let's say fucking the TVA's shit, they can hop anywhere in the time and then also, each way like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So with it being Cable's just his time machine, he can't
Oh,
do it.
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So like that was kind of like, I'm like, you're just doing this because Jon Favreau agreed to be in the movie, aren't you? Like
right.
that's all it really kind of like seemed like to me. It's just like, oh yeah, we got Favreau. Let's just do like a quick, fun, silly little thing at the beginning.
Hmm. Yeah, I get that. Um, I did like that he was in it. I also like seeing like Iron Man's suitcase
Hmm.
armor from Iron Man 2. You also see the cap shield prototype. Um, and there's like something else too that I
The
noticed.
heart. Tony has the
Yeah, yeah. So that was pretty cool. Um, let's talk about some of the cameos, huh?
yeah.
It was
Let's go in order, because we get probably Favreau is the first, and then we got the Hulk showed up,
hmm
which that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I wasn't expecting that.
no, neither was I. And like that one popped me. I mean, if we're being honest though, it didn't really make much sense that Deadpool wouldn't be like, oh yeah, the one that can take on the Hulk. I want him to come with me.
I love the way that they showed Hulk. It was in Wolverine's claws, just like
Yeah.
that comic cover, which
Yeah.
is iconic. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, who was there any other cameos before they started doing all the Wolverines?
Well, I mean, I think it was just, I mean, we got all like the characters from the past movies.
Yeah.
They were there, but then except for no Domino and Cable, which was weird.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then yeah, then we just got the Wolverine. So like I said, Hulk popped up, and then I'll let you mention it because even though I think I love the beefcake more, I think you were probably more excited about this one.
Yeah, we had the Cavalrine. Henry Cavill was there working on the bike. And I thought it was funny because I'm pretty sure Deadpool was like, yeah, you didn't think this would happen, did you? And I'm thinking they're like, no, I sure didn't.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie though, I wasn't a fan. Like, I love the Weapon X. Like, I love that we had different Wolverines. Like, the Weapon X Wolverine pops up. We got the brown suit. We got um Patch, which was awesome. We got little Wolverine, and then Cavalrine, and that part was hilarious. But his mutton chops were not doing it for me. He's too beautiful. Gotta get
Yep,
those things out of there.
yep, I agree. But as he's walking up to him, I'm like, dude, this one's fucking shredded.
Yeah,
And of course it was Henry Cavill.
he's a fucking unit.
He is a unit. Um, was X-Force the one with like the pretty shaggy hair and like that alley that was beating him
Yeah,
up pretty
that
early?
didn't because
Okay.
he didn't have his or it's I think it's what did he just go by Weapon X on that? I don't remember. It's the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine because he didn't have his hand, and so it's
Okay.
this adamantium nub. I had
Right.
I had his toy when I was a kid, and he had a gun that shot adamantium bullets and
Of course he did.
little other things. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah. I recognize like that black and red suit, but I'm not familiar with that part
Yeah,
of Wolverine's history. Also, they did even the colors correctly. That cover of Uncanny where he's crucified up on the giant X.
yeah,
I mean, that is
yeah.
straight from that Claremont issue,
Mm-hmm.
and that looked cool.
It did, and yeah, then he finds the one that they decide to use in the movie, and he's the worst Wolverine. And he's got the costume, and the costume's dope as hell. Though, like later on in the movie, he loses the sleeves and the shoulder pads, which me and you were talking about. The shoulder pads should have stayed because that would have made it perfect.
Yep, yep, I agree. Uh, and then he also gets his cowl there towards the
Yeah,
end of the movie. And a part of me is like, where was that hiding the whole time?
yeah, right. I
But it looked cool.
Yeah. Oh, there was one other thing. Oh, one thing that kind of annoys me, and this is like happened in The Boys too, and I thought it was stupid there. But it's like Wolverine, we see him healing pretty damn quick in this movie. He can still get drunk.
Hmm.
That shouldn't be a thing.
Yep, I agree. I mean, they even touch on that in Captain America, right?
Yeah. And Wolverine's healing factor is a bit better than old Cap.
Yeah,
And speaking of Captain America, Chris Evans is in this movie. Not as Captain
yep,
America, though, as the Human Torch, which was hilarious. I knew exactly what they were doing. Like, as soon as it was revealed, like Deadpool's laying it on pretty thick that it's going to be Cap. And then I'm like, it's not going to be Cap.
yep,
And that was pretty great. But like we were talking about before, the way they beat him was so stupid. They had old Pietro able just to completely take his fire away, which makes no sense. And if Johnny knew that was going to be a thing, why would he even do that?
yeah, I agree. It was silly, but I don't know. they needed to put him down quick, and I guess that was the way to do it because like
Yeah,
Toad sure wasn't gonna do it, right?
right. Well, I mean, if I'm just gonna say this, if Toad for some reason has a giant magnet weapon that he can use, why don't they just have a giant fire extinguisher?
Yeah. Also, I wish that Toad would have been Ray Park.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of those Fox guys that were one getting old, getting old, too old to be in it. And then because like we talked about Juggernaut, it's like not Vinnie Jones, wish it could have been, but I just don't think they could have, and then also they're probably expensive,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know. But that's one thing that I thought was kind of funny with this movie is like if you remember in X3, we had Psylocke in that movie. She never did anything, but she just was an Asian girl with a little bit of purple streak in her hair. Pretty sure she was in this doing a little bit, actually doing more than there was that girl that was super quick that net didn't have even I don't think she had a speaking line in X3. She just stood there and, was like tall. And,
Yeah.
and she was in this movie too. And like she didn't do anything also, which I thought was kind of funny. I was like, that's on brand for the Fox X-Men movies, so it works.
Yeah. I want to say, wasn't like Pixie in it too from like
Oh,
the
I
first
didn't
class
I
era?
didn't see her if she was in it,
Maybe it
but she
wasn't
very well
her.
could
It
have been.
was somebody like her.
Yeah. But so yeah, we had all these cameos. We got to see yeah, I'm trying to think who else were some of the characters that we saw. Um those were the main ones from that area, and we get to meet the villain of the movie. She's a reality warping maniac. It was pretty cool. I was like weirdly turned on by her bald head. I was like, I just want to lick it.
Well, that's kind of weird.
I mean, it is what it is. But don't kink shame, Jake.
Yeah, I won't. I won't.
But yeah, so like she did a great job, whoever the heck she was, and
Oh, this one really took me by surprise. Like X-Men 1 Sabretooth.
yeah, see, that was in one of the trailers, and they were like building that up a lot. And I was like, oh, this will be cool. And then that fight scene ends super quick. And I was like, that's kind of a letdown because I was actually wanting them to fight.
I was too. But if I had seen that one, that cameo, I forgot about it because I
Yeah,
like I if you'd said that Liev Schreiber was in it, I'd be like, yeah, probably. But I
yeah.
was not expecting that Sabretooth.
Hmm. And then he's probably more affordable than Lee Schreiber.
Yeah, probably.
And yeah, the Johnny dies, which was pretty funny. Like that joke kind of went on a little long when he died, like because it was like Deadpool was like naming off like all this terrible stuff that he didn't say, and then that made the bad lady kill, rip his skin off, and it's like okay, this is funny, and then like he just kept going, like that's like how a lot of that movie, how like a lot of the jokes were in this movie for me. I'm like, oh yeah, this is funny. Oh, we're gonna keep going with it. Okay.
Yeah. And then tying into that, did you stay for the post credits thing?
Yeah, that was
That was
pretty
pretty
good
funny.
too.
I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting that.
yeah.
Um, I just pulled up a list of cameos to make sure I didn't forget any I wanted to
All
talk
right.
about. One was Jason Fleming's Azazel.
Yeah. So that's another one that was kind of perfect too, because it was like I remember when he got announced for first class, it was like I'm like, oh, this is kind of like he must be one of the big bads, and it's like not really any speaking lines, and he just was doing shit in the background, which
Hmm.
exactly like this.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to see him though, because I just love him from all of Guy Ritchie's movies.
Yeah.
Um, we had Lady Deathstrike.
Yeah.
She was also a part of Cassandra Nova's gang. Let's see. Yeah, you said Psylocke. We had this one was pretty funny. We had the Russian from Punisher in his
Oh,
red and
okay.
white striped suit or shirt.
Should have been big sexy Kevin Nash.
Yeah, I know, right? I remember thinking like that shirt is from the Punisher, but surely that's not what they're doing here.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was like. I recognize the shirt. I couldn't even picture it was from Punisher.
Yeah. What else? What else? Oh, the Fantastic Car was in it.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
I like that too.
We had a Sentinel's foot. We
Oh,
had
okay.
that's what they used to escape there
Yeah.
initially. This one I did catch, the Milano, which was the Guardian spaceship. It was one of the crash things in the
Oh,
background
okay.
because
I didn't see that.
there was also a helicarrier
Yeah.
and something else
20th
there.
Century Fox sign.
Yeah. Oh, we the big Ant-Man corpse.
Yeah, of course. I wonder if that's the Edgar Wright one.
Huh, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Oh, apparently, uh, one of the cars that was there with the Fantastic Car was a car that Tony Stark drove in the first two Iron Man movies.
Oh, it was an Audi then?
Now, it was like an old hot rod,
Oh, okay.
a 1932 Ford Roadster.
Oh,
We also had the Liefeld's Just Feet thing,
yeah.
which we saw in the trailer, but that was also one. Um, yeah, but then let's get to the more exciting ones, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Whenever they find, well, they talk to what Nice Pool, who gives him his
Yeah.
Odyssey to drive through.
Which I hated. I kind of hated the nice pool stuff. I'm like, man, this is another one of those ones where I'm like, this is going on this joke is going on a little long, guys.
Yeah, for real. I liked I liked a lot of the other uh Deadpools that they showed, and
Hmm.
we'll get into those cameos too, because there were a lot of voices of people that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
But like I was telling Casey before this, the one that I really had no idea was coming was Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Yep.
That one was maybe my favorite because I've talked about the Blade movies 100 times on this show and how much I like those. So that was cool.
Yeah. What'd you think? Okay, first off, we also got Jennifer Garner's Elektra,
Hmm.
and then X-23, which that one was so dumb because I didn't know that she was going to be in it, and then I guess they had a trailer that showed her in it, and so then like on Twitter, I was on Twitter, and they're like, people were, she was then talking about it's like, yeah, it was hard for me to keep quiet about this role. It's like, why were you having to keep quiet if they literally put you in a trailer? Like that's so stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was great that they had her though. I mean,
Yeah,
it's cool to
100%.
see just an older her at this
Hmm.
point.
And she did great. And then I will say the most surprising of the cameos. I'm not gonna say it was good, but he had jokes that tickled me. Was Channing Tatum's Gambit?
Dude, I couldn't believe that either. He has said so many times that his feelings were genuinely hurt that he never got to do this. And I'll say it, I thought his costume was cool.
It was cool, but it was one of those ones where it's like they needed to make it look less, I think it's comic booky to
Yeah,
work on, like, and I think they could easily do it, but like since they did like the built-in abs, like that shit never works really, in my opinion. Like it never, and like
yeah,
this one was like kind of like I think made to look bad, a little
yeah.
bit, you know what I mean? But and also like unless it's being drawn by Jim Lee, I don't know if the open face mask is ever a good option.
Right. I mean, it was better than it could have been.
Oh hell yeah. And his terrible Louisiana accent was cracking me up about every time.
Yeah. And and Deadpool just not understanding it at all. Yeah, I agree completely. Um,
And then like, oh, and there was the joke where he was like, maybe I was just born here. I was like, that's pretty funny. And like with Blade when he's like, I don't like this guy. It's like, well, you never did. Because like they had drama on the set of Blade.
right. Yeah, honestly, I forgot about that. I was actually confused when I heard that line. I was like,
Yeah.
why is he saying that?
Because and like when you hear about it more, it's like it's less, I guess that movie was hell to be on. And it was less like Ryan, I guess, was ad-libbing and doing shit that made it worse. But it was just like this wasn't a fun time for any of them really, and so they didn't get along because of that. That's what I've read online anyway.
I see. I think Ryan's the best part of Trinity. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah, I do too. But oh, and then the the line where there's like, but there's only one blade, and then
Yeah,
like
only
like
ever
oh,
gonna
it's
be one blade, and then he looks at the camera, and now I'm thinking that that joke is gonna be.
might be true.
It might be true. Yeah, but man, I think he looked cool. The only thing that I wish that he kept was like that one special sword that he always had in the movies,
Oh
where
yeah,
only his fingerprints could like draw the sword and stuff.
yeah.
So, um, but yeah, I don't know. I like Elektra walked in and I was like, okay, that was a pretty big rumor that I heard. But then when
Hmm.
Wesley Snipes walked in, I was like, fuck, this is my favorite cameo so far.
Yeah. And then Channing
Um,
Tatum came in. You're like, it's been topped.
dude, I
Sorry,
know.
Wes.
Uh, I mean, that had to have been the one that I least expected.
Yeah.
Even more so than Cavalrine. I just
Hmm.
never thought that we were going to see that.
And Jennifer Garner did great. Like she wasn't really funny, but she did the action scenes well. And that's another thing we haven't really touched on. The action scenes in the movie are awesome. Like legit great action scenes, except for that first one. The first one, I was just like, oh, this is trying too hard and dancing and
Yeah,
stupid. But the rest of them, great fight scenes. Just all around great.
they were. And speaking of Jennifer Garner, Deadpool is like, oh, sorry about Daredevil, and she's just like, like, oh, that was really
Yeah.
funny.
I was a little disappointed she was in the Daredevil costume and not the Elektra costume.
Hmm. The one that looks like
The comic.
a Party City Halloween costume.
Yeah.
I've not seen that movie all the way through.
I saw it when it like came to Billy Lee's video and we rented it and you know, it's not good.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but that whole fight scene with that group versus Cassandra Nova's people was really fucking cool.
Yep.
Especially X-23 going ape shit like on Juggernaut and stuff. Like that was just
Yeah.
rad.
And then this is gonna get to a problem I had with the movie because they needed the helmet to put on Cassandra Nova to block out her powers and shit. They put that on, they got her, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna snap her neck." And then Wolverine's like, "No, no, we can't kill her." It's like, bitch, how many people have you fucking killed already?
Mm.
And then like later on in the movie, you kill a bunch of more. Like, so it's not the ideal. Is it just because she's bald and you're like, ah, looks like Professor X? I can't do it.
That's gotta be it.
Because like that was like made no sense
Yeah.
at all to me, So that was like a just a dumb throwaway part. But yeah, they get her there. She gets shot. They bring her back to life, which again, no fucking sense. And then they had to stop the TVA from destroying Deadpool's reality.
And
And
that's about the time we get all the other Deadpools.
yes,
So
and
the I really thought that this would have been 50-50. Lady Pool, and
Mm-hmm.
ended up being Blake Lively.
Yep.
There was a pretty strong rumor that it was also Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could see it either way. I really could.
Yeah.
Because she's friends with Blake Lively, I think, in real life.
Yeah. No, she actually, this, like, it's very much a Ryan Reynolds style joke, but someone reposted like a picture that she posted with, it was her, Hugh Jackman, Blake, and Ryan. And she's like, oh, she like does this big long thing about like one of her friends doing this movie that he's wanted to do forever, blah blah blah. And it's like, I'm just so happy for Hugh. These other two idiots just jumped in on our picture, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. But yeah, most of them look cool. I mean, honestly, a lot of those stylized Deadpools look cool.
Hmm.
Samurai one, the fucking Welsh Deadpool, um, Cowboy one, which I guess we can get into that. The Cowboy one was Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion was Headpool,
Okay.
which he only had the one line, so I did not recognize Nathan's voice with that.
Yeah. Here's a
Um,
fun fact too, really quick. Nathan Fillion and Ryan Reynolds did a show called Two Guys and a Girl and a Pizza Place.
mhm.
And then they just dropped the pizza place. It just was two guys and a girl.
The frustrating thing about that show, Casey, is that you can't fucking buy it or stream it anywhere. So I've never
So
seen it.
that's not necessarily true because I bought it for my mom. But the problem is you have to get a region-less DVD player because it's on a region lock DVD. But I got it for her, and so then she ended up getting a DVD for it and was able to do it that, the special player for it.
Yeah. It's just like at this point, man, can't someone just put it on a fucking streaming service? I want
Yeah.
to watch it.
Yeah.
That's something that like high school Jake would have obsessed over and loved.
Hmm. There was like I remember an episode, I don't know why we're getting into this too much, but where because Nathan Fillion wasn't one of the two guys, he was dating the girl. And there was an episode where like they went to the bar with like this laundromat bar with him, and he was like doing like, shit that kids would do, and like because he's like, oh yeah, I got these like fake quarters to get us free soap from the machine, like that and then he had the the dental floss through the quarter so he could get free free shit like that's all I remember. but
Yeah.
but was there any other good cameos with the Deadpools? Because I knew Matthew McConaughey and Blake. I didn't know about the Headpool one.
I don't think so, at least not according to this list.
Okay. But yeah, that Deadpool fight scene was pretty great, except for the nice pool part. Like that was just again went on way too fucking long.
Yeah, it did. I was wondering, like, well, I laughed at the parts with the dog. I don't think
Hmm.
those went on too long. And
No.
then, like, at first, when he's dragging him across and he's getting shot up, I was laughing. But then, like you
Yeah.
said, he had to have like a whole conversation with him in the street, and that was pretty
Hmm.
lame. But yeah, the fight scene was cool. The whole time it's happening, I'm like, all of these guys are going to regenerate. I know that
Hmm.
they will.
Yeah.
It was funny that Nice Pool didn't. I'll give him that.
Yeah, that was good. But trying to think. And then they end up stopping Cassandra by I mean, they said it's because of something science related, but I really think it's just because Hugh Jackman's abs popped. I think that's what it was. It was just the power of his fucking shreddedness.
Yeah, I was waiting for something like that because Deadpool was like, oh, he's so old. He's going to be doing this till he's 90. He's wearing the suit because he's too old and not shredded anymore.
Yeah.
That wasn't true. You could tell whenever he lost the sleeves that his arms were still jacked.
Dude, did you see that fucking vein?
Hmm.
I went and saw the 3D one. That was just bouncing out at me the whole damn time.
My friend Josh and I, for years have called him Huge Jacked Tan instead of Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman, and that still holds true in this movie.
Yeah. Um, oh, what was I gonna? Oh, I don't remember. Someone asked if that scene was special, any special effects, and like, nope, all Hugh.
I believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, like, I know that especially you hate Origins Wolverine, but that scene where he comes up out of the water screaming, like, he is so fucking shredded.
You know what's funny though? If you look at X-Men 1, we're now discussing Hugh's body in great detail. He's got shirtless scenes in that movie, and it's like I'm not gonna say he looks normal, but it's also like there's not really visible abs there. You know, he's just like, yeah, he looks like a dude that's in pretty darn good shape. And then it's like as the movies got more and more now, it's just like, yeah, you gotta be absolutely peeled, bro.
Yeah. Well, dude, I remember reading like in Men's Health or something where he was like, yep, I had alarms set. I was up at 3 in the morning eating a rotisserie chicken, and then again at 5 o'clock in the morning before I did 8 hours of working out. It's like, of
Yeah.
course he looked like that.
And probably with that shirtless scene, he probably took diuretics to get all of the water out. And like that's another thing, like where they never mention, like when they're getting ready for a scene where they gotta be shirtless, it's like, yeah, they get rid of all the water, they get, like they don't eat, so they can make sure they're nice and and then like all that shit, extra shit that they have to do to look extra good because it's
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yep. So yeah, with
Oh, and then they end up killing
science. Yeah.
they ended up killing Cassandra Nova. So it's like, boy, letting her live was pointless, guys.
Yeah. But she was the only one that could possibly do the Doctor Strange thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Wolverine stays in that timeline and
X-23 shows up too.
X-23 shows up and they go back to Deadpool's place to have a party with all the people we saw in the beginning.
Hmm.
And he's question mark back with Morena Baccarin's
Vanessa.
character. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then well, I won't say it's like the credits, the first credit thing was just like um oh, I don't remember what the song was playing, but they showed a bunch of stuff from
It
like
was
the
Green Day's Time of Your
yeah,
Life.
yeah, the song that plays, at like colleges when we were or at high school graduations when we were, younger. But
Dude, it still hit, at least for me. It
I mean,
did.
I was like, this is about perfect. And then it just, showed clips from all of the Fox X-Men stuff, which I'm like, oh, that's pretty fun, even though most of these movies kind of sucked.
They did, but we say this often. It's what we had at the time.
Exactly.
So it's hard not to like those for either nostalgia's sake or just like, we never thought we were going to get some of those. So it was a really I thought that they were going to take all of those characters from the Fox movies and shit on them.
Hmm.
And they really didn't. It was a love letter to
Yeah.
Fox Marvel, and I
Yep.
really really liked that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like there's little things that like that could have been cooler. Like if we could have got which I don't think he'd want to do it, but we could have got the dude that played the thing. Like that would have been pretty sweet.
Hmm.
But
Michael
like little
Chiklis.
yeah, like little things like that could have like added more coolness to it since, it wouldn't have been just the Marvel X-Men, the Fox X-Men stuff. But and it's also really, I mean, for the most part, it was just like the three original X-Men movies too. It wasn't so much anything from those newer ones that they had
Hmm.
pop up in there, which I'm like, that's kind of fine by me.
Sure. And then the bizarre couple of flashes from the Josh Trank Fantastic Four movie there at the end credits thing,
Yeah.
which it's whatever. I'm glad they showed like everybody from everything. But then we see Michael B. Jordan. And I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah. It's like,
that movie.
yeah, the one that shouldn't have been made.
Yeah. Also, I was looking at this list of cameos and so Ryan and Blake's kids were in it. One was Kid Pool, like the voice of
Oh
Kid
yeah.
Pool. Um, and then one was their daughter Betty is credited like in the credits as Hugh Jackman's Wrangler, which I think
That's
is pretty
funny.
funny.
Yeah.
So I really do like their friendship, their real life friendship. It's fun.
Yeah, I haven't got to watch all the hot ones yet, but that one so far was, looking pretty
Yeah,
funny.
for sure.
I want to know how they became friends. Because it's like, I don't think they did a movie together, did they?
I don't think so. The
Except
earliest,
for X-Men Origins, I guess.
yeah, you're right. It could have been there.
Yeah.
Because the earliest memory I have is them swapping Ryan's gin and Hugh's like coffee or
Yeah,
whatever.
that was so funny.
It was funny. And then they did a lot more of that down the line.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I liked it. It was a good movie. It's definitely a hey guys, the Fox stuff is officially dead. Anything going forward with Disney is going to be new.
Yeah.
At least that's how I pictured it. Otherwise, why would they give us that graduation day behind the scenes video?
Yeah, right. Which, with that being the case, I wish they brought up Magneto. I wish we could have seen Sir Ian McKellen just a little bit, that's the second time I mentioned him tonight, but it
Hmm.
would have been cool. Even though he does, it'd be it's like when Patrick Stewart showed up in Doctor Strange. I'm like, buddy, you're looking old, my guy.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I mean, even when he was in Logan, right? It was like, gosh, it's sad how old he looks, and
Yeah,
but he was great in that.
yeah.
So yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it. Um, I haven't watched one and two in so long. I definitely like three, like Deadpool and Wolverine, more than the second one. I don't know if I liked it more than the first just because it's been way too long since I've seen it. But yeah, a strong outing. Really, really glad that it got made.
I'm gonna go for me, my rating, I'm gonna do it out of 5. And I'm gonna say 3.5 cameos out of 5.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a four myself.
Right on, man.
So there you go, guys. If you've seen it, let us know what you think.
Let us know your favorite cameo. If you're like, oh man, I'm so glad Pietro is back. I love,
Huge Pyro fan.
yeah, I was always like, man, I'm glad that they made him so fucking powerful in these X-Men movies for some reason.
Yeah, I was a little surprised we didn't get the guy that played Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because
What's
it's
he
like
up to?
he was in The Boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a lamplighter in The Boys.
Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah. He's like, I mean, I think he might have been, I don't know, he might have been True Blood. Oh man, that just reminds me. I know the girl that played Rogue was in True Blood. That would have been fun if she would have been in it, even though I'm not a fan of hers, but that would have been fun.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
One of my favorite things is like an X3 when, and like someone posted this on Twitter, but when in X3, when like Rogue's like, what if one of us want to take the cure? And then like Storm, the person that can control weather is like, there is nothing to cure. Girl that can kill people that she touches. Like, oh Lord. Yeah, maybe Rogue does need to be cured, guys.
Yeah, I had to look up that guy's name because I couldn't remember it. Sean Ashmore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gosh, I totally forgot he was Lamplighter, but he wears that big hood and those goggles, so it's tough to
Yeah,
tell.
but and I think this happened. They were probably trying to cut down on the amount of heroes they could show, because it's like we just need some awesome scenes from some of these characters. That's my guess is why we didn't get more good guys.
Yeah, probably so. Because I mean, after a certain point, it's too much.
Yeah,
So,
especially with that last fight scene. Though, how cool would it have been if we could have got Vinnie Jones as Juggernaut, even though it wasn't Vinnie Jones, versus Michael Chiklis, the Thing. That would have
yeah,
been fun.
I agree. And like you said, I wish the saber tooth, like they could have taken off one whole minute of bye 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 and added that to the saber tooth fight.
Lord, that would have made this movie so much better.
'Cause they played the whole song. It's
Yeah,
bye 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 start to finish. We did not
yeah,
need it.
not at all. It's like, well, actually, Jake, don't you remember in X-Men 1 when Hugh Jackman did the whole Backstreet Back All Right dance? And that's what it was referencing.
Of course, how could I forget it? All right, man. Anything else to say?
Um, no, I think we about covered it all. It's fun. I mean, it's kind of like exactly what you expect. I mean, actually, it's not really what you expect because you don't expect it to be, like a goodbye to the Fox universe, but it did everything better than the Flash.
Yep, for sure. All right, guys. Well, like Casey said, let us know down below if you liked it and what your favorite cameo was. And you know, we'll do this again the next time Casey and I both see a comic book movie.
Yeah,
So,
this is like the first time that we were able to sync up on it because normally it's like you see it or I'll see something and you'll be like, I want to, and then you just don't. And then it's the same thing with me.
yep, yep. All right. We will catch you later. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.